Hello, hello, hello. My name is Patrice Williams, and I am so excited because I get to bring on one of my mentors. I love her so much, and I have a feeling you love her as much as I do. Her name is the Honorable Dezie Woods-Jones. She is one of the founders of BWOPA, which was founded over 50 years ago by this amazing woman and other co-founders. She is now the state president of BWOPA. With no further ado, I'm going to bring you on for this special show, and I'll tell you what the show is about in 1 second, but I'm going to bring her on first. Hello.
Well, good morning, Patrice, and thank you so very much for having me this early morning. Well, it's already 9:30. Okay, not too early.
9:31.
Okay. Great.
Well, I tell you, while I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about BWOPA and what made you and the other women find why are you founders of BWOPA? What was out there that made you say we need an organization like this?
Well, thank you very much, Patrice. It gives me great pleasure always to talk about BWOPA and, again, certainly our purpose. As you said, over 50, about 54 years ago in 1968, 12 of us, there was a group of 12 African-American women activists that had been involved in a variety of activities from the civil rights movement on the local, state, and national level. And we had been working hard as usual to involve people in politics. And certainly at that time, it was normally men or others, primarily white men and even some black men. And we continued to work because we believed in that unity and making sure we had our voices heard. But it was interesting because when we started sharing, even with our brothers who we love, that we wanted to see an African-American woman on the ticket. And we kind of started with some things that on a local level, the school board, and then it was a race coming up on the state assembly where we wanted to run a woman. And we kept getting the pushback, well, it's not quite your turn yet. And maybe you all should wait a little bit. And it was always a reason there's something wrong that prevented us and from them also joining with us to get involved. And so, again, a little backstory of this. This group of 12 women started out raising big time money, especially at that day, for African American men to win, including our recently deceased brother, Ron Dellums, who became, again, the conscience of the Congress. At that time, we raised close to $80,000 to help Ron win Congress. And these were African American women, selling those chicken dinners and walking the precincts and making the calls. And we love Ron, and we, again, we still love the memory of what he stood for. And then, of course, we later got involved in Lionel Wilson, the first African-American mayor of Oakland. And we started raising money for him. And we raised a substantial amount of money back in those days. But yet, again, even with our great involvement and our energy, it was like, again, never our turn to be put out there front. So finally, it came to our attention that we needed to not ask for permission, that we needed to advance our own candidates and not in any kind of dissension way, but that we felt it was important for us to raise the dollars and put women forward. And so this group of 12 women, under the leadership of our beloved Edith Austin, came together and started meeting, and we met at the Rainbow Sign and decided that we would formalize this group that had previously been known as Women for Dellums. And at a meeting at the Rainbow Sign, a couple of years later, as we got more formalized, we sent out a communication to people, including the Sun Reporter, that Edith was then the publisher, not the publisher, but the editor. And we thought we would have maybe 40 women show up, and 250, 300 women showed up to that meeting. We said, women who want to be involved in politics, come meet us at the Rainbow Sign. And so that was really the genesis. But the purpose again is to make sure that we have a voice at the table, that it was important that our voices are clearly significant. And when we're not engaged in the discussions of the public policy that go forward, then everybody loses. And so we are happy now that we have women all the way up now to the White House that have had the experience with BWOPA. And at the local levels, we're seeing gains, and we're training people to be in the queue to make sure they're ready and prepared to win. So that's what we're about, is engaging African American women in the political process. Not always elected, but how we run campaigns, how we get appointed to boards and commissions. All of those things are important, and that's what we are about.
Well, I tell you, not only have you inspired many, but you have personally inspired me. You are the reason why I wanted to found the Solano chapter. And it was the same thing. It was this energy throughout the county and throughout Napa, where we needed to come together in one voice, know what was going on in the county, lift candidates into office. And with your blessing, we were able to charter the chapter Solano, and Napa came along. And just like what happened 54 years ago, we thought, I remember one of my mentors said, honey, if you have 10 women there, you'll be doing good. And you remember that day?
I remember.
Over 50 women and a few men there.
I was so proud of you all in that day and the activities you've even done since then. You've been a phenomenal chapter and taken on the issues that are critical to your community, which is what we ask all chapters to do. And so we're proud of the work that has been done, and really just a short few years that you all have been in existence, but you've become a powerhouse for us. The chapter is very, very important to our overall success, and we are proud of you.
Thank you. So just so you know, you have some BWOPA members that are watching us on chat. Tanya Alston is a member. She's a part of labor unions, and she is an amazing member. Also, Tara Beasley Stansberry is a somewhat of a new member in the last year, and they're just on the line and wishing you hello. Some of your
Well, thank
members.
you very much. And my love, shout out to all of them. Delighted that they're with us. And again, thank you for your commitment and the compassion and the work that you all are doing in this region.
Got it. So now I want to ask you about the exciting news of the last week. And that is that we have a Vice President elect, Kamala Harris. And I know that you have known her for years.
Yes.
You're
Yes. Go
and
ahead. I
so
did not interrupt you. Yes.
and then I see you have your Biden Harris shirt on.
Yes, I do. I do. It's hard for me to get out of it. I try to take it off long enough to wash it and keep wearing it. I'm still in that mode, you know. So I have two, but this is my favorite one. But
So
let me share, if I can, share a little bit about why I am so proud, and why I think all of us should be celebrating this moment, of course.
yes,
As you said, Kamala and I have a long history. She was a very young woman when I first met her. I think most of you know I turned 79 a couple of days ago on the 11th, and I'm proud and happy, glad about it. But it means that we've had a long history in the struggle and the movement, and so growing into ourselves and our movement and growing our organization, we've had relationships with a lot of young women who aspired to run for office. And of course, like I said, I can recall when Kamala began to first seek out her pathway to where it has led her to. And of course, as I think most of you know, she became the DA of San Francisco, and then, of course, our Attorney General, eventually after state of the first, as you said, get another first. And she's been a lot of firsts. But the thing I love about Pamela Spear is so authentic, and she is so real, and she cares. And I have to say to people, I know everyone does not agree with all of the public policy and public office. As you know, I served as the vice mayor of Oakland on the city council for a number of years. And I recall, again, always trying to do the honorable thing, do the right thing, the thing that I thought was best for the people that I served, the community that. And even when you do that at your best earnest, you're not going to always please everybody. And certainly, we all know that, especially those that have served in public office. But I think what's important is for us to be able to go to bed in the mirror and say, I feel okay about myself, regardless to whatever else other people feel. We are never going to please. And someone said that a long time ago to me when I first was elected. You're never going to please everybody that you see. What you've got to do is make sure you're using your best judgment. You're dealing with a sense of integrity. And that's, again, I say all that because that's what I feel about Kamala. And so when we go along in life, we're not going to agree on every public policy issue. We're not going to sanction. But Kamala is a that is authentic, that is real, that is genuine, and that comes from a loving spirit. And I'll give you one quick little anecdote. And I share this because recently we were experiencing all these devastating fires in California, and she, has, of course, in that moment, running for the vice president of the United States, and so she's out all over the nation. And she came to California during this fire season because she wanted to see what was going on and have a presence. And during her visit, I got this call, and I started not to pick it up, but I just finished a Zoom meeting, and said, okay, I'll pick it up later because I didn't recognize the number. And the call was from Kamala, and she said, Dezie? I said, yes. This is Kamala. I said, well, no, it's not, because I thought somebody was messing with me. He said, no, it's Kamala. I said, well, my goodness, dear. And we, had our amenities, and so I said, well, what's up? How are you? And blah, blah, blah. She said, well, I was, in the community. I could not come without calling and checking on you. How are you doing? That's the kind of leader that we want. Person with compassion, character, care that goes beyond the politics. And so I think that's the reason we should be excited, because I think she and Joe Biden are going to bring a much needed release from the anxiety and the hate mongering and the racism and the sexism, all of these horrific, challenging things, the lies, the daily lies that we've had to live with for 4 years. And we're exhausted. I think people are exhausted from that kind of leadership. So I have been celebrating, even with my body, which is, again, at its age and has suffered from West Nile virus. And so I can't jump up like I wanted to, but I've been jumping as high as I can. And at the same time, I've been in tears because I also know what it has taken for our sister to get there. And she knows that. And I'm so proud that she shares that story, that she is standing on the shoulders of the women and Black women who have struggled for years to make a difference. And for us to finally see her not break the glass ceiling, but shatter the glass ceiling is absolutely phenomenal. And I want to just add this, Kate Patrice, is that BWOPA has been saying for years, and in almost every presentation I make, I remind people this is not a new thing for Black women. Black women have been in this struggle, and as now others are recognizing, we have been the foundation and the backbone of the Democratic Party. And we have been the voice. We have voted at a higher percentage rate of any other group of people in this nation. That's including everybody, white women, white men, Black. We have the highest percentage of voting record. And so this is nothing new, but we're gladly now seeing the results of the struggles that have been made in the past. And so just so your listeners will know, we have an additional thing to be proud of now, because now when we look at the records, from what I understand, and I have not seen all the final stats, but it's been reported that Black women in this election voted over 91%, whereas even white women voted at 53%. So that we've got to teach them. They've got to come along with us. They're still sometimes following suit with other folks, but look at us. And so we have a lot to be proud of. We have a lot to be happy. And as the old folks used to say, I'm happy, glad about
it. Thank you for giving that insight to the woman that is Vice President Elect Kamala Harris. It makes me feel even better that we have someone so compassionate and empathetic and thoughtful in the White House. And in my heart, I believe this is a pathway to president for her to become the president.
Let's take one step at a time. But girl, I'm all for that. We want to not, we want to ease into that in terms
Yeah,
of let's do this workforce. But it certainly opens that door, doesn't it?
it does. It does. So right now, Vice President elect Kamala Harris is a senator. She's a senator. I believe she's the only Black woman senator. Am I right?
Yeah, you are absolutely correct, and actually, and only the second African American woman to serve in the U.S. Senate in all of this history, and so it is absolutely an important seat. I mean, again, another first that she broke through that barrier, and she worked hard for that, and it just wasn't given to her, and so she was able to build a coalition of support to get to the U.S. Senate. Now, our job, and we though we're celebrating, as I've said to our BWOPA leadership, our chapters, our presidents, we cannot celebrate so long that we sit on our laurels and not forget that there's going to be a governor's appointee to replace Kamala Harris. And of course, there are a lot of people out there deserving. There are a lot of people out there that want it, and there are a lot of people of other nationalities. Our Latino brothers and sisters, who we love to coalesce around and work with, are looking because they also feel that they have never had that seat. But what we're saying to our members and to giving the charge to our community is a Black woman earned that seat, and we don't want to give it without understanding the importance of having that voice still remain there. We need a strong African American woman to replace Kamala in the U.S. Senate. And there are any number of qualified sisters in this state that are absolutely ready and able and eminently qualified to step in. And I'll just name a few of them. Even though BWOPA is sort of leaning in certain directions, we know that we don't want to splinter our state. We want our state American women leaders in the state to be united and forceful in this. So we're certainly putting strong push on the governor to again appoint an African American woman, a strong African American woman to that seat. And my goodness, we've got Barbara Lee out there, Congresswoman who has the seniority and the Congress of African American women, and maybe even women. She's been there for a long time. Well, of course, we've got Karen Bass, who is the former Speaker of the California Legislature and now the chair of the Black Caucus. I mean, London Breed, the phenomenal mayor in the city of Oakland, which I'm not sure if all these women are ready, willing and want to. They may want to stay where they are, but he has a choice. There's Malia Cohen. I mean, there are just so many phenomenal. Of course, I have to say Auntie Max, my dear friend Maxine Waters. I don't think, again, Max is interested. But my point is we have women ready, and they need to be strongly considered. And we want to make sure that our governor appoints a Black woman to fulfill that. So I want all our sisters out there, write your letters. We can't sit silently by. We have to put pressure on the governor. And if the governor's our friend, we endorsed him. He's been to BWOPA meetings, and we love Gavin Newsom. We really do. And he's been a phenomenal governor as far as I'm concerned. But we cannot we need to let him know how strongly we feel about this issue. So I am challenging our sisters, our individuals, our chapters. Write your letters, get on social media, post your stuff. Let's make sure that we are, in fact, completing this challenge that we started, and let's make sure that we have another Black woman sitting in the U.S. Senate. So I hope that people will respond to that request and that challenge. And before you send me off, I got one more challenge for folks. But you ask your question.
No, I was just going to reinforce what you just said. So our call to action, and do we have a short-term time to do that? A short window?
We don't know when the governor is going to make the appointment. He has a window of time, and I don't want to give you a date because I'm not sure. But we never know if he's going to do it, tomorrow, or if he's going to wait several weeks. And of course, he's got to do some due diligence. He's got to think about all this. So, and he's got a challenge because there are a number of very qualified people out there. But my thing is, we respond now. We don't wait. The sooner we get out there, let him know so he can consider our issue, our passion, our concern. And it is important that folks to know, This was the first African American woman, but we don't want it to be the last that served in the U.S. Senate. And again, there are going to be other Senate seats that will come available down the line. But right now, this was a seat that we fought hard and won, and we like to retain it. So let's get busy as we speak.
Okay.
Now, the other thing, if you'll allow me to mention, and I don't know how much time, I know you're going to have to get off minutes. I want to slip this in. We have another challenge that I'm asking people. We have a race in Georgia that can make the difference in the United States Senate. You all know this, you've heard this. So again, we are happy, glad about the vice president-elect and the president-elect winning. But they need the Senate to be in concert with them so they don't have to fight and struggle as our President Obama had to do when he was working against, again, a Senate controlled by the other party. And so we need to make sure that we are doing all we can to make sure we help Georgia. So this is not just a Georgia election, it's our election, and we need to own that. You know, our sister Stacey Abrams have been out there organized, and she's a powerful sister. She's done a great job in changing the face of Georgia, but she needs our support throughout this nation to not only help raise money to fund the call. You know, again, I tell people all the time, the postman may love you, but he's not going to mail your mail is for free. As you know, he's going to charge you the same thing. Material costs money. Education costs money. So let's send and support that. But more than anything, let's get on the phone. Let's call our friends and our neighbors that live in that state, and let's all get them energized and make sure they know how important this election is. In addition, if you can volunteer some time to make some calls, there's numbers and stuff that I know on the hotline that you can respond to. So I just wanted to get that in, Kay Patrice, that's also a critical piece. Again, Black women make the difference, and we can make the difference in this election.
Well, I tell you, I appreciate your time and that call to action. We know what to do. We need to contact our governor. I do know there's a question, but I know you have another meeting at the top of the hour. I do see a question that about, you know, that selection for the seat. Is it based on seniority? You know, would we say
for the Senate seat?
Would we ask for Barbara Lee and Karen Bass just because of the length of time that they have been in service and their likelihood of being reelected because they're so well known already?
Well, I think that certainly is an important piece, and certainly BWOPA has those are two top people for us because, again, not only their seniority, but their demonstration, because it also requires someone to be able to win a statewide race. And that means to raise, again, a bundle of money. And so, you know, people have to have that presence to be able to raise that money. And they also have to have that demonstrated leadership. We certainly know those two women. But again, I want to be very careful because all of these women we love. These sisters out there that are providing great leadership. We respect them. We respect what they've done. And, you know, we think any one of them, again, would be eminently qualified. But for BWOPA, we have felt that those two women kind of stand ready in the sense of, again, the things that they bring to the table that could help them be victorious. We don't want to be interim kind of position. And we know that even if the governor I'm not going to see even when the governor makes this appointment, and that person is going to have to run for office, you know, eventually. And I'm trying to remember the date of that election after completing that term. Well, we know the floodgates are going to open because others that say we're not appointed may want the challenge of running. And we've got to be ready to take that challenge on as well. So, think carefully about your choices. I think it's easier sometimes not because we have so many qualified people. But if you have a feeling out there, my thing is we want to unify our sisters, unify our state. We don't want a division of power. We want to make sure the governor knows that we want a Black woman. And if you have a particular choice and you want to mention that, then that's fine.
Well, thank you. Okay, I want to respect your time because I know you have that meeting in 6 minutes, but oh my goodness, I appreciate your time, your wisdom. Thank you for that call to action. We are all over it. And we love you. I love you.
Oh, Thank you so much, Kate Patrice. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you, the women in Q, my BWOPA sisters, of course. They're so special to me. They lift me up. I am nothing without them. They are the wings beneath, like I said, they are the wind beneath my wings. So love you all. Thank you so much. And look forward to coming back at another time. Bless.
Thank you. God bless you.
Do you close me out, or do I have to do like the Zoom and close myself out?
I'm going to close you. Well, I'm going to close you out, but then you can leave when you get ready.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Well, was that a wonderful meeting or not? We have our call to action from Honorable Dezie Woods-Jones. And she is closing us out for Friday. Now we know what we need to do. We need to get those letters out this weekend. And we also need to engage in the Georgia elections. Yes, we're in California. We need to engage in those elections. We're going to be posting those links later today. So if you come back to this online video, you'll be able to see those links where we can engage with and take those 2 call to actions right away. So with that, have a great weekend, and we will see you all next week. My name is Patrice Williams, and I am honored to be your host. Take care.